Hope you're doing well. My name is David Wilkerson, and this is Surplus Funds 101. Just wanted to start off by saying thank you to all the people who have liked my videos, subscribed to the channel. We're just been longtime loyal viewers. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't hit the like button or subscribe to the channel, do it now, you guys. I've been in the creative real estate and asset recovery business now for over a decade. Okay. Done lots and lots, and I can't count how many deals I've done, and I'm still doing them. Okay. For the longest time, I didn't have employees, I didn't have virtual assistants, it was just me. And so I had to come up and develop, and a lot of things too, I modeled off of other people. But I had to come up with a lot of things that could help me reduce expenses, increase revenue, collapse timeframes, things like that. And on this channel, I share them all with you guys. I give you guys so many nuggets of gold. So go and slam that like button, hit subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. But with that being said, I just want to talk to you guys today about business expenses and how important it is to understand your numbers. Recently, probably over the past 2 months, I have gotten an insane amount of direct messages from people who want to scale their business, who want to hire virtual assistants. And before you ever think about doing that, you need to know your business numbers to where you can even understand if it really makes sense or not. Okay. So what I wanted to do today is just talk to you about some of the foundational basics for running a successful business. Okay. Now this is just going to be a very, very basic overview so you guys can get an idea on how you can take this and apply it to your own life and your own business. And in the upcoming weeks, I'll put out another video that's a little bit more complicated and advanced, where there's a lot more working variables that can kind of affect these numbers. But for just experience level sakes and everything like that, here's just a basic overview on what you guys need to do. And we'll just start coming up with the numbers that you need to come up with to see if that's viable. Okay. Now, when you're running a lean business, there's two big things you want to understand. Okay. You want to understand your revenue cycle and how much money you're going to be making, and what your baseline operating expenses are. Okay. Now, because when you are in a commission-based business, like in the asset recovery business, it's kind of tougher. I think that a lot of people, when they're brand new, they're like, how would I know what my averaged out numbers are? And, my mentor, he trained me on coming up with my numbers based on a 6-week running average. Now, as much as I like the guy, I kind of disagree with him on this. I like doing an 8-week running average, because when you're dealing with unclaimed property and state funds and things like that, I like gearing in my averages to my average payout cycle. Sometimes you'll have these unicorn deals and they'll fund quicker than others, but most of the time these deals are going to fund out, and it's going to take about 8 weeks. And so I like doing an 8-week running average. Okay, now the way that you discover your 8-week running average is you calculate your overall gross commission and you just divide it by 8. So here's just an example, you guys. If you take 8 and then you have, let's say, 15 successful transactions with a gross commission of 45 grand total. Okay, that's 45 divided by 8. That leaves you with a little bit over 5 grand, 56.25 a week in gross revenue. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to understand your baseline operating expenses. Now, these items, they're going to change, but when you're running an at-home business, one of the best parts is you don't have a big overhead. So you're not going to have office space. You'll probably be renting this out of your back bedroom, so you'll be able to write off a portion of your rent or your mortgage on your taxes. But your overall expenses are going to be pretty low. And again, going back to the virtual assistants thing, as you can see right here on this line item of all these different expenses, your labor costs, your employee costs, is probably going to make up for over 50% of this. Okay, so if you aren't going after big deals and you aren't really bringing in the revenue that you need to bring in, that could really throw things off. And so you really always want to be focusing on things that are going to drive revenue in your business, because the more revenue you have coming in, the less you have to worry about all these fixed costs, and so I think that's what people get, they get it confused. Now, I'm not saying that being really conscious of these items isn't important. But what's more important is you guys making more money. And that's why I always talk to you guys about charging after these bigger deals, because if you're going to get paid 10% on an account that the account's worth like $5,000, why wouldn't you go after the accounts that are $50,000 so you make $5,000 a deal? Okay, because the more money you have coming in, the better it is, and a lot of people get that mixed up. Like the other day I was walking my dog, and I live in Boise, Idaho. I live in the historical district, and property values have shot through the damn roof. It's unreal. And I walk down the street and I bump into one of my neighbors, and he's kind of a hippie older guy and thinks that everything should be fair and doesn't understand how ruthless the world is and unapologetic things are. And he says, David, don't you think that it's jacked up that everything's gotten so expensive to where home buyers can't afford to purchase in this area? And in the back of my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, no, I like the fact that it's unaffordable. I like the fact that it's expensive. It's a good filter. But I was like, all these people that are bitching and crying about how they can't afford to buy a house in this area, they should be bitching and crying about how they don't have a business or some other source of income to where they can cover the payments on the mortgage for the house that they want to buy. Because if they had more money coming in, the debt service really wouldn't matter. Okay. But you guys, just to go back to this, okay, let's just say that your monthly total on all your expenses is right here around $2,200, or it's about $556 a week. So, if we were to go up here, that is a big spread that you're working with. So that looks really, really good. Okay. Now, what you want to do again is you want to take your 8-week gross, and this 5560 minus the I'm sorry, you guys, I had a little bit of a doozy today. Minus your weekly operating expenses, and that's what you're going to be left with. Now, another thing, when it comes to your expenses, there are going to be items that aren't going to be fixed that you're going to have to pay for every single month, such as data. That's going to be an irregular number, and so you can run an 8-week average on that number as well. Now, also keep in mind, you guys, this is post expenses. You're still going to have business taxes and personal taxes, and you're still going to have labor fees on there if you're thinking about scaling out. So that's why I always tell people, you guys got to know your numbers before you ever think about wanting to scale your business out. Like, for instance, the other day, some young kid hit me up and he goes, Dave, I like what you're doing. I watch all your YouTube videos, and I want to scale my business out. I want to hire 4 virtual assistants right out of the gate. And I was like, hey, well, thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it. But let me ask you this. How long have you been in this business, and how many deals you're doing? And he goes, well, I've been doing this for about 2 months, and I have 1 deal that's pending that I haven't gotten paid on yet. But, I know this really well. I went through a coaching program, and yeah, I'm ready. I want to do this. And I was like, well, before you ever think about hiring an outbound marketing specialist, you should probably be more concerned about hiring some sort of virtual assistant that can take care of all the tedious little tasks that you don't like doing that are going to eat away at all your time. I was like, because you're so new, you don't know what you don't know right now. You're going to be paying a whole hell of a lot of ignorant tax by thinking you can go and hire that many people right out of the gate and not have it blow up in your face. Because being a successful salesperson or recovery agent is one thing, but learning how to manage is completely different. And then he kind of goes, well, yeah, I want to do that too. I want to have, I want to have a personal assistant as well. And I go, well, let me ask you this. Do you even know what your outbound marketing KPIs are for yourself yet? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, how many telephone calls do you make a day? Out of those calls, how many people pick up? Out of how many people pick up, how many of those people do you have quality conversations with that you put into your CRM that you are going to incubate for multiple touches that you're going to convert? And I had started going through all these questions, and then he goes, I don't know, but hold on. I'll have to talk to you later. I'll message you later on. And they just shut up and then disappeared. But I'm not trying to sound rude or anything like that, because I want all you guys to go out and crush it. Because I want all you guys to scale your business up. But there's a time and a place to do that. And like this right here is a very basic overlook on how much money is coming in, how much is coming out. But these are things that are crucially important. Because the last thing you want to do is be paying money every single month for a virtual assistant, okay, when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, you don't want the blind leading the blind. You want to become so good at this to where not only you can be the example for these virtual assistants and whoever else you want to hire, but you can train them effectively to where not only do they come in and you help them start getting a deal a week, but you can help raise their weekly averages up as well. Okay, and so I know I keep going back to this virtual assistant thing, and that's not always the most important thing. Some of you guys don't even want to have them, and that's fine too. But understanding what's coming in and out is super, super important. Okay. Now, another thing, guys, as I've always said, understand your KPIs, track them, log them, put them on a spreadsheet. Okay. And even though I do everything on an 8-week average, I still have my quarterly averages, my biannual averages, my annual averages. And so when you start gearing in your KPIs a lot better, you'll be able to see where the kinks in the hose are. Okay, you'll be able to say, okay, this cost is going up. This needs to be resolved. Okay, revenue is dropping here. I need to get rid of this expense, and this expense. Okay, but with that being said, you guys, this is just, again, just a really basic overview. In the next few weeks, I'll be releasing other videos that are a lot more complicated when it comes to this. I just know a lot of you guys are just brand new, you're fresh, you've never been in business before, and so I didn't want to overwhelm you guys with data and numbers and facts and figures and things like that. But you guys, just keep in mind, whenever you're running a business, you have to know your revenue and all your expenses. Okay, I have to know what's coming in at. Now, again, too, I would suggest you doing this for your own personal life, because the more money that you make, the more money you want to keep, the more you want to multiply. That's how you're going to get wealthy. And I'm sure that you guys are all watching my videos because you're trying to see a big change in your life, and that's where it's going to come from, But with that being said, you guys, that's all I got. If you haven't smashed the like button or subscribed to the channel, do it now, and you guys go out and crush it and go take over the world. Take care.